So Oroville is a small town in California that has just declared itself a town of a constitutional republic. You might have seen the vice mayor, Scott Thomson, on Tucker Carlson last week, but I wanted to hear the results of what happened after Tucker, because that's always a fun experience for people who have all of a sudden been exposed to, oh, crap, there's a lot of haters out there. Scott, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. And by the way, I've been listening to it for years. I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Now, I have to ask, we got the vice mayor on. Is that because we couldn't get the real mayor, Scott, or?
Sure.
So you're the mayor of this little town, and you've just declared it a constitutional republic. Why?
As you know, these mandates just continue to come, and from the get-go, when they said 2 weeks to slow the curve, how long has that been now?
Yeah.
And, the mandate just continues to get more and more intrusive. And it's been like a carrot dangling in front of our faces, like, just a little more, just a little more, just a little less freedom, a little less freedom. And now with the vaccine mandates that is facing our kids here in California, I'm a father of two young boys, Isaac and Ben. And that's, absolutely the line in the sand where it's one thing to wear a mask. And it's another thing when you say we're going to inject this into your body. And to be honest, I'm not pro or anti-vax, not pro or anti, vaccine. This is about freedom. And it's absolutely a Marxist agenda that's coming towards us, that just removing, and how much control are we going to let the government have? And that's why we declared ourselves as California seems to be headed in a Marxist, more of a socialist, more of a dictatorship. We're sticking our stake in the ground and saying, no, we're going to stay a constitutional republic. So that means that our people have rights endowed by the Creator, which we plan on protecting, which, by the way, we took an oath. Every sworn police officer and city council person makes an oath when they come into office that they will protect the Constitution of the United States and the state of California. And, republic means separation of powers. So that's basically what we've made this stand for. So it's not anti-vax, it's anti-Marxism.
So this passed in the city council. There was only one person that voted against it, but she didn't even seem like she had a problem with it. She said we should go through the courts, not through a proclamation, right? Yeah,
Christy. She's an amazing young lady. I am appreciative of all of our city council members. And by the way, Oroville is a purple city. It is not a red city. If you look at the registration of our voters, it's 40-40-20. It's 40, conservative, 40 liberal, and 40 independent. And she's registered with the Democratic side, and I'm friends with her. And she, in fact, the next city council, she wasn't necessarily opposed to the idea, just the avenue.
Correct.
In fact, the very next city council meeting, she made a motion that our attorney specifically look into lawsuits or pending lawsuits that we could jump in on to fight these mandates or whatnot. So she absolutely wasn't by her own actions, wasn't necessarily opposed to it.
So you were on with Tucker, and
yeah.
I got to believe after you were on Tucker, you met a whole new group of people.
Boy, did I. Yeah. It's like, wow, people, and that's what's sad, just the crop of humanity that came out and send out voicemails and emails and whatnot. The hate and the nastiness is not coming from within our community. I'm really proud of Oroville, because here in our town, I think America's still alive and well, where you can have a differing opinion and still come to the table, discuss it, and come away still somewhat respecting each other. And there's others out there where if you disagree with them, then they start throwing names at you and calling you everything in the book to no longer treat you as a human, but then now treat you as some ideology that they hate.
So you're a pastor, and you were living in the Bay Area. And
right.
You must have been mighty popular. And why did you move? Why did you move to Oroville?
That is a very long story, but if I can put it in a nutshell, as a Christian, I firmly believe that God speaks to us, and there was 24 confirming, I call them breadcrumbs, that were completely off the wall, crazy people coming out of nowhere and just saying things. I'm just keeping things in private and prayer.
Yeah.
And God just completely led us here. And so that was back in 2014, and came to a little town and to a church that was dying. Had about 30 people in it, and they were all, retired, very elderly.
Yeah.
Now our church is thriving, and it's good. But we came. I didn't just come from the church. I really felt strongly that came here for Oroville, and also I believe Oroville isn't a bubble for California. We're a beachhead for what I believe that God wants to do for the whole state, because California is not lost by any means. By any means, California, there's absolute hope. Absolute hope.
Why do you say? What makes you say that? I mean, just a casual observer from the outside. Are you nuts? Yes, absolutely. As a Bible believing Christian, if you read, I'm sure I know as well, you're a man of faith. In the scriptures it says, "Is the Lord's arm too short to save? Can He save by many or by few?" And there are a lot of people that are moving out of state because of what's going on here. But in the same way that Gideon's army was reduced before God did His thing, in the same way, I absolutely believe that there's hope. I believe that what God is doing here in Oroville, I've been saying it for years, what God's going to do in Oroville is going to be a blessing, a spiritual blessing to the whole state of California. That's great. And thus it would be a great blessing to us as well, all over the nation. Scott, thank you so much for what you're doing, and keep it up. I'd love to hear about how the attorneys react, because I happen to agree with Chrissy that it is through the courts that this thing can be wrangled back into the hands of the people. But so let us know what's going on, will you?
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. God bless.